What does being secure mean? I'm gonna go over this from my perspective. It's a man-made concept, but it really doesn't mean being perfect and never making a mistake. Like, guys, come on, that doesn't make sense. It's not a perfect science. We try our best, but having a secure attachment doesn't make you an impenetrable fortress. It doesn't mean you're automatically handed your one true love out the womb. That's kind of like saying, you're athletic, why aren't you at the Olympics? Or you're athletic, why don't you play every single sport? Imagine making a dream home. Now that you've built this dream home, your expectation is that the most perfect people on earth walk into it. Saying, well, you are what you attract. That doesn't mean a crook isn't gonna go and try to buy the house. But a perfect person could walk into that house. And if the perfect person did walk into the house, I think they'd have a really great time. They would really love living there. And that perfect house wouldn't get in the way of them living a good life. Doesn't mean that the toilet's never gonna break down. That doesn't mean that there's never gonna be a leak in the house. That doesn't mean that there's not a single wall that you don't have to paint. And the truth is, being secure doesn't automatically protect you from bad things or bad people. People really like to hammer home, like, if you're so great, like, why aren't you married? Why haven't you found this person? You are what you attract, law of attraction. Guys, I need you to, when you speak, turn the brain on. Like, those sayings have very specific contexts, doesn't always apply. If X, then Y doesn't necessarily mean if Y, then X. Like, please turn brain on. You can have the best family in the world, the best upbringing, be completely secure, and in your childhood, you could have this best friend, Susie. You and Susie have a big falling out. That doesn't mean you're not gonna feel hurt because you're secure. That doesn't mean you're not gonna wanna talk it out with Susie because you're secure. And say Susie turns all your friends against you. That doesn't mean you're not gonna be confused. Being secure doesn't mean you're gonna let it go super easily. You could be secure and easily think, listen, I just gotta talk to Susie. This is all a big misunderstanding. Once I finally explain it to her, we're gonna be fine. Things are just gonna go back to normal. That's probably what you're gonna think because you're good-natured and your family's good-natured and that's all you've ever been exposed to. You see the good in the world because you've been exposed to the good in the world and you see the good in people. So you're not insecure for wanting to go back to being friends with Susie and wanna patch things over. You're not spared of that experience because you grew up in a secure household. You're not immune to the effects of bullying just because you're secure. Like, that shit sucks. And it's normal to try to find a solution. Things are complicated. Every situation is a different situation. But when you're secure, you do stick by your commitments because you see the value in sticking by your commitments. Because you've been shown the value of committed relationships. You're stable, you see them through. Trusting relationships are great. There is nothing to fear. You're not spooked by every small thing, and if you do get spooked, you understand that that feeling will pass. You understand how fruitful relationships are. And you've seen other people in relationships work through their issues. So why wouldn't that be your scenario right now? So I'm secure. I've never agonized about anyone that wasn't my boyfriend before. Never agonized about someone that was really random and not my friend. People that don't matter tend to really not matter to me. They really can't rev my engine. But what I have been is hurt by people that put themselves in positions, important positions in my life. They've ensured that I can trust them. There was an understanding that we were best friends, that we were in a relationship, that we were XYZ. It's understood that that's what we were to one another. It was understood that we could depend on each other. Truth is, if I invite you into my life, I'm giving you the opportunity to hurt me. And I'm trusting that you won't take it. And I understand that. I understand the risk. And I'll be okay if they decide to do it anyways. And on an individual level, I'm a very loyal person. And being loyal to the wrong person is not always a positive experience. It's understanding that, hey, not everyone is for me. And one less person by my side isn't necessarily a bad thing. And when I'm alone, I'm not lonely or sad. It doesn't mean that it's not a bummer though. And I don't think I'm alone. I've got an entire community that would walk through fire for me. And I know that whether they ever thought to verbalize it to me or not. But I don't invite just anyone into my life. The people in my life that have hurt me have gone to great lengths to convince me I could trust them. I don't really notice it, but by the time that I've let them in, they've inconvenienced themselves a great deal to be my friend or my boyfriend, whatever. These people have really fought for the position in my life. There's a very well-known story, Little Red Riding Hood, and it's a cautionary tale warning you about wolves that disguise themselves as someone you know and can trust. And Brothers Grimm warns you that it can be the wolves that disguise themselves as generous, charming, nice, and have tons of other people vouching for them that they are not wolves, and those can be the most dangerous wolves. The cautionary tale teaches you that there's not much that can be done about the existence of these wolves. There will always be wolves, but the best thing that you can do is not stray too far off the beaten path. Don't let them distract you from your destination. Don't let their words convince you of something your mind knows to be untrue. That's the best you can do. And Little Red came from a great family, completely secure. But the first time it happened, she was completely confused, completely taken aback. What the fuck, Wolf? She didn't think anything of it. She was completely naive because she had never been exposed to malicious intent before. It doesn't mean that she deserves to get eaten by a wolf, or that she's any less likely to live a happy life after this incident. But she can proceed forward with the knowledge and the lesson, and move more cautiously. And the tale is here to remind us, hey, this happens, it's not a big deal, don't beat yourself up about it. You're not the first and you won't be the last. Lick your wounds and keep moving forward. To grandmother's house you go.